Welcome to Sports Jam!
Everybody get up, it's time for sports now. We got a real show going down. Welcome to the Sports Jam. It's your chance, talking right. It's the Sports Jam. All right. Hey man, you can't get in there net.
Hey Region, welcome to the Sports Jam here on AM 1230 WJOB. Mike Zajac in studio with you. Joe O'Rourke will be here in just a few minutes. No Sam Sapita for the day. We got a big day ahead of us. The Cubs and the Sox over the weekend. We'll discuss that. The Open Championship as well. Phil Mickelson takes home the Claret Jug. Railcats in the news for the weekend. Also the Oilmen, local Babe Ruth, Cherville, and Crown Point in the news. We got Jeremy Ratajczyk coming back to us, talking on the phone about his tournament this weekend in Ohio from the Griffleball League. Should be good. They went 3-2 over the weekend. Some headlines to go along with that. As here comes Joe O'Rourke, a little late. That's all right. That's all right. Who was at the door? Anybody?
Yeah, it was someone from Petros. Wanted to clear something up with Pat, but he wasn't here. So
That's not here. Oh.
I tried getting out of there, saying I'm like, dude, I hear the intro song, I have to go.
Right.
And it didn't really work.
So, do anything exciting this weekend?
This weekend, what did I do? Not too exciting. My parents went to the lake house for the weekend. I didn't feel like going, not for a third straight weekend.
Right.
So I stayed home and just swam in my pool pretty much all day Saturday and Sunday. Saturday I actually went to my roommate Melissa's house. They have a family. They have this big party every summer where you team up with someone and you do all these competitions. They call it Fear Factor games, although they're not really scary or anyway like Fear Factor, but they're just little competitions, and Melissa and I won, so
there you go.
$150 to Red Robin.
There you go. Who are you taking there?
I don't know. To be determined.
TBD. Yeah, all weekend I just sat on my butt and watched golf. I did nothing else. Golf, and that was about it.
What happened with golf, actually?
Well, you want to just...
Yeah, let's just jump into that now.
And
then we'll do Cubs Sox.
Phil Mickelson...
Throwing you a curveball.
Yeah, you are a little bit. Phil Mickelson wins. He takes home the Claret Jug over in Scotland. Shoots 66.5 under par. He was 5 back to start the day. He birdied 4 of the last 6, including a 15-footer on 18. He birdied, 13, 14, 17, and 18 to get the jug. Lee Westwood, the leader after Saturday, chokes again. He was up 2 shots going into Sunday, shoots 75. This is his 8th top 3 finish in majors. He has never won a major. Tiger Woods shoots 74. He's winless in 17 straight majors. 17 for Tiger Woods without a major, and yet he still gets Golfer of the Year award from the ESPYs.
Who are you pulling for?
Phil Mickelson. He's my boy.
You
he's
love
always
lefty?
Yeah, I'm a big lefty fan. I always pull for him. He's always great with the fans. High-fiving him. You don't see that with Tiger Woods. And I think that's why Phil Mickelson, everybody loves him.
I always pull for my Irish boy, Rory McIlroy.
See, Rory didn't even make the cut. He's got something going on with him because he changed clubs a couple of years ago, and he hasn't made cuts. He's shooting high 70s. Mentally, he's not okay. But I think it could be these new clubs that he's using. But
was it last year or 2 years ago when he really burst onto the scene? Started winning.
I think it was 2 years ago, I believe. Because he went into the Masters on a Sunday and just blew apart. And first 9 shot like 40 something, and yeah, hasn't been right really for a while.
Yeah, since I don't really follow golf or play it because I'm awful, except for driving. I'm a decent driver.
Right.
I pretty much just root for my Irish boys. So whoever is in the tournament and from Ireland is going to get my vote.
Yeah, there's not a lot of slow boxing Polacks out there. So I got nobody to root for, but Phil's my boy. He wins his 5th major, his first Open championship. And he's always struggled in the Open because he goes over into that weather. It's cold, it's rainy, it's windy. He's not used to it. Last couple of years, he's been playing the Scottish Open the week before, and he's gotten used to it. So I think that really helped him win this tournament, and it's great to see him win.
All right, let's talk about Cubs and Sox this weekend. The Sox took 2 out of 3 from Atlanta this weekend. On Saturday, Jake Peavy made his first start after coming off the DL from a rib injury. He pitched 6 innings, allowed 7 hits, 2 earned runs, 0 walks, and 3 strikeouts. Alex Rios went 3 for 5 on Saturday with a grand slam and 5 RBIs in a 10-6 victory. And then yesterday, the Sox won 3-1 behind Jose Quintana. Not a great start for Jose, but he had a lot of defensive help. I saw Keppinger made a really nice play. There was Casper Wells robbed a home run in left field. I think that was when Nate Jones was pitching. But the Sox made a lot of good defensive plays yesterday. And then they won the game. Quintana pitched 5 2/3 and pitched 9 hits, 1 earned run, 3 walks, and only 4 Ks. Rios went 2 for 4. He's got his 20th stolen base. He's on pace for 25 season.
Yeah, he's having a good year.
Maybe a 30-30 season, but he'd have to pick up the home run pace a lot. I think he's only at 12 or 13.
Mm-hmm.
But 25-25 is certainly within reach. And Addison Reed locked down his 25th save. The White Sox now still hold the number 3 pick in next year's draft. They are 7 games behind Houston, who had a pretty good weekend. And by a good weekend, I mean they did awful. And funny enough, Miami,
yeah,
they've scored 0 runs since the All-Star break.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
3 games?
Just full of goose eggs this weekend.
Yeah, oh my gosh. I was watching Saturday's Sox game for a little bit, and Fox Sports had Robin Ventura talking with them.
Right, yeah.
Live during the game. Not over break, live during the game. And the Sox put on some runs. Alex Rios got a grand slam. He said, I'm not going anywhere. He was superstitious about that.
Yeah, I think the announcer actually was saying something like, "Oh, Alex Rios hadn't hit a home run since I believe June 9th."
Right.
And they were saying, he's due for one. In like mid-sentence, he just jacks out that grand slam, and he was like, "Oh, I told you." The Sox will take on the Tigers tonight on the south side of Chicago. 7:10 start on WCIU. It'll be Christopher Sale versus Max Scherzer. If you haven't seen Max Scherzer pitch before, have you ever on TV?
I have not. I've just seen him through Sports Center and all that.
Well, then you probably know what I'm about to say. If you've ever seen him pitch on TV, there is always at least 1 or 2 shots every 3 or 4 innings where they zoom up right on his eyes. Just right on his eyes. I'll tell you why, Mike.
All right.
Because Scherzer he doesn't suffer, but he has heterochromia iridium, which means he has 2 different colored eyes.
Really?
One of his eyes is brown, the other is bright blue.
Never noticed that.
Yeah, and I swear, every time he pitches, they will zoom up right on his face and talk about it. It's like
because it's weird. You don't see that. It's not something you see every day.
Right. It is rare. You see it in some huskies, maybe.
Right.
Usually not human beings, but I swear every single time you're like, all right, where's that canned shot that's going to end up happening where they just zoom up right on him? He's got to be like sick of it by now, hearing about it. I'm sure every interview he's had, they say, "Oh, dude, look at your eyes."
Which eye? It really doesn't matter which eye is brown, which eye is blue. I have no idea.
Let's say his left one's blue.
All right.
That
doesn't bother his vision or anything like that?
No, I don't think. I mean, no. Do you notice you have brown eyes if you're not looking in the mirror?
But
no, it's the same. But I did when I was looking up that difficult word I just pronounced and had to look up. Obviously, I noticed there was something called central heterochromia iridium, which means 2 colors within the same eye, and that was cool looking. I saw they showed someone's eye; it was like green on the outside,
right,
and then it turned I don't know if it was brown or hazel or blue maybe as it went like towards the pupil. It was really cool looking.
Now, was he born with this?
Good question. I believe he was born with it, but you can actually acquire it from having a head injury or some sort of eye trauma or whatever. It can just happen to you. Or when you're a baby, I don't know, you get dropped on your head a few times.
Right.
And screws get knocked loose. I don't know. But you can be born with it, and you can also acquire it.
All right. Now, let's go back to sports. The Cubs lose 3-4 yesterday.
Filling time.
Yeah. So it's all about lose 3-4 yesterday against Colorado. Go to 43 and 53 on the year. Castro, what a game, 4 for 5 with a run and a double. His first 4-hit game since September of last year. Rizzo 2 for 4 with a solo home run. Those two hit the ball. Finally, they hit the ball together, and they still can't win a game.
They hit it together?
Well, they're both hit the ball. Six for
they
9.
Both had one hand on the bat?
Yeah. Whatever. Jackson with the loss. He moves to 6-11. Of course, he has one bad inning, and that's what does it. And he goes 7 innings, gives up 5 hits, 4 runs, 2 walks, and 5 strikeouts. Up next for the Cubs tonight in Arizona, Matt Garza is on the mound.
Mark Garza.
His brother is not on the mound. Matt Garza is on the mound. He's scheduled to pitch. Could be his last game as a Cub.
Could be, although last time they said 80% chance he gets traded before his next start, and that didn't happen.
Yeah, but
Dale Swaim has said there's a 100% chance Matt Garza's pitching tonight. But, of course, he has no say in that, really.
Right.
So,
of course, the trade, the Rangers broke down over the weekend, so they're looking to get something else from the Rangers or another team.
Exactly. Also, making his debut Friday was Junior Lake, who was recently called up.
Yes, I missed that.
As we said on our show. Good job, Mike. You're a Cubs guy.
Fan and
Cubs guy.
Junior Lake, yeah.
Junior Lake made his debut on Friday. He went 3 for 4 with a double and a stolen base. And then Saturday committed his first error, and then Sunday committed his second error.
Of course. That's how it goes with the Cubs and their young guys.
It seems like the Cubs prospects get called up. They just do awesome or dominate, make a great first impression. Cubs fans go nuts. Like, oh, my God, Starlin Castro, Rizzo, whatever, Pie, or Felix Pie.
Remember that? Oh,
yeah.
Gosh.
And
that was horrible.
And then they just teeter off, and that's kind of – I mean, obviously it's only been 3 games for Lake, but he has a great debut and then just errors in his next few games.
And he's not a big prospect from the Cubs that they brought up, of course.
Yeah, like I said on Friday, I think he's going to be a Brent Lillibridge type guy, which has value, obviously, but I don't think he's going to be someone the Cubs fans are going to be buying jerseys for.
Oh, no.
So,
I mean, the Cubs had Brett Jackson that they brought up, and he did awful. He struck out, made errors. I was a little surprised they didn't bring him up to replace Bogusevic in center field, but
do you still have your Hesop Choi jersey?
I never had a Hesop Choi jersey.
That's a lie. Every Cubs fan had a Hesop Choi jersey, in like 2008 or 9?
No, before that.
7?
No,
6?
03.
No, really?
Hesop Choi, but he was on the Cubs
ago?
in 03 and then got injured against, I believe, the Yankees in that middle of the season series, and then they made the trade to get Eric Karros.
Okay.
Over the offseason, he stepped up, came in and played first base, and now we know what happened in the 2003 playoffs with that.
And now he's Hesop Choi's in the Hall of Fame, I think, right?
He's got to be in the Korean.
Yeah, the Korean Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame.
Right. The Cubs are currently in the 7th spot for the draft next year. They are 10.5 games behind the mighty Houston Astros.
Yeah.
So that's going to do it for this show. Let's just end it now. The Sports Jam's over with. We're gonna take a break, and we'll be right back with the Sports Jam on WJOB AM 1230.
Welcome back to the Sports Jam here on AM 1230 WJOB. Joe just found out about Hesop Choi.
Hesop Choi. He is from South Korea. So we nailed it. You nailed it.
I nailed it, yeah.
I had no idea if you're right or not. He's from, why did I go this far? He is from Yangnam. Yangnam, South Korea. He was a lefty. He debuted for the Cubs in 2002. Debuted for the Korean Baseball Organization. I'm guessing that's what KBO stands for in 2007. 40 career home runs in the MLB, hit 240, 120 runs batted in. Played for the Cubs, Marlins, Dodgers, and the Kia Tigers. And then Kia Tigers.
He was supposed to replace Fred McGriff in 2002 and be the next big-time first baseman for the Cubs. And they got injured, like I said, and now the rest is history with him.
He was in the 2005 Home Run Derby. Do you know that?
I did not. For who? The Dodgers?
I don't know. I don't have that information. But
see, that's when it was He was the world.
Yes, exactly.
That's-
He represented South Korea.
Yeah.
He only lasted one round. He matched Andrew Jones of the Netherlands with 5 home runs. He did not feature in the All-Star game, but he played in the home run derby. I hated that.
Yeah, I didn't like
Hated that when it was by countries.
Right.
That was so stupid. Anyway, let's talk some local sports real quick. Recently retired Gary Athletic Director Earl Smith Jr. drew nearly 300 attendees for his retirement party this weekend. Smith had been the AD since 1998. Among the people on hand at the retirement dinner were 7'1" Wallace Bryant, who played with the Bulls for a year in the mid-'80s, and 6'11" Frank Smith, who was a standout at Arizona University. They all came out for this dinner to honor Earl Smith Jr. You can read the entire All right, let me start that over. You can read the entire article on the retirement dinner written by Al Hamnick in the NWITimes.com. Oilmen news. We had no Oilmen game notes on their website for today, so I had to do a little research myself, and I found out that they split doubleheader yesterday versus the Chicago Zephyrs. The Oilmen won Game 1 by a score of 6-1, but lost Game 2 by a final of 1-0. They'll play home tonight versus Snipes at 7:10 p.m. at Oilmen Stadium. Have you ever been to Oilmen Stadium?
Not yet.
It is pretty awesome
Yeah.
looking. It
So
really
I
is.
hear a lot about it.
And I went there for a night game to watch one of my buddies, Steve Cervenak. He played for, I believe, Lincoln last year. He played against them. I went and saw that. At night, that stadium is awesome because you got the whole refinery out there over the outfield, and it's all lit up. There's thousands of lights, and it just looks like you're looking over a city.
Yeah.
It's real cool. It's a real nice stadium. The Railcats, they won yesterday 9-1 to salvage a victory in a 4-game set versus the Sioux Fall Canaries. Mike Massaro went 4 for 5 yesterday in the win. Christian Vitters went 3 for 5, and Ari Ronick pitched 7 innings, allowed 1 earned run on 3 hits, and had 8 strikeouts to no walks. The Railcats will start a 4-game series with the Sioux City Explorers tonight at 7:10 at home at the U.S. Steel Yard. All right, Mike, you got some local Babe Ruth League action for us?
I do. Crown Point 13-year-olds, and what was a tight game, Cherville threatened to break a scoreless tie in the bottom of the 4th when it was loaded with the bases with 1 out. Then Aiden Swinford, who came into relief, a quality start from Ryan Bulba, got a Cherville batter to hit a grounder to second for a 4-6-3 double play. Then in the ensuing top of the 5th, Crown Point Red sent 13 hitters to the plate, scoring 8 of them en route to an 8-1 championship win. Crown Point went undefeated in the tournament. They will advance to the Ohio Valley Regional in Robinson, Illinois. Pool play starts on Thursday with Crown Point Red taking on Southern Illinois champion at 3 p.m. Friday, Crown Point Red faces the Southern Indiana champion at 9:30 a.m. and West Virginia champion at 3. Single elimination bracket runs Saturday and Sunday. At 14-year-old Northern State tournament at LaPorte Babe Ruth, it was all business for the Cherville Shock. Winning North State champions is nothing new to the Shock, who for the most part have been together since they were 8 years old. How about that?
Wow.
And they have 5 titles in the last 6 years. But last season, 13-year-olds Shock advanced to the first Babe Ruth World Series, and the team is itching to get back. Leading the offense charge against Logansport were Jack Bosold, I believe I'm saying that right, who had 3 hits, and Parker Bryant, who had 2 hits and a pair of RBIs. Shock manager Dan Bosold, Jack's father, has been impressed with this team's offense during the district and Northern State rounds, but believes the team's deep pitching is what makes all the difference. On Thursday, the Shock will face the Wisconsin champions at 3 before taking on Northern Illinois champions at 10:30 a.m. and the West Virginia champion at 3 p.m. to complete the pool play round the following Friday before single elimination on Saturday and Sunday.
And that story was from NWI Times?
NWI Times, right there. Yep.
Yeah, you can check that out on their website as well to read the full article on the Babe Ruth leagues. Now, when you grew up playing baseball, right?
Yeah.
Did you ever play in the Babe Ruth leagues or Cal Ripken or anything like that?
I did Griffith Babe Ruth.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how'd that go?
13-year-olds. What did I do? I made the all-star team after they went to regionals because somebody got injured, and they said, hey, we need another player here, and I guess I was next in line, so I stepped up and played in place of him. So I was like, okay, they had 12 guys. I was the 13th guy that didn't make the team. So 14 to 15-year-olds, I did make the all-star team. Didn't go as far as we wanted, but it was a lot of fun. How about you?
I actually never played, besides baseball being my number one favorite sport right now, and I'm obsessed with it. I actually never played baseball growing up. I played soccer for 11 years, I think.
Yeah.
I think I played 20 seasons every fall and every spring. And then I bowled for 9 years, bowling, and then I played roller hockey for 4 or 5 years, I think. And I played football for 2 practices.
What happened there?
I got mono.
Oh.
I got mono, and the doctor said I had to quit because I had an enlarged spleen.
Right.
And if I took a hit there, it could rupture and I could die. Yeah. So I think when I was like 9 or 10 years old, whenever I was in the Raiders, Tri-Town Raiders, I just had to hang him up then. I retired.
Sam right now is in South Bend for the Notre Dame baseball camp, I believe.
So he says.
So he says for the next 3 days. So he
Sam
will be
may
out.
Be at Notre Dame right now.
Maybe. We don't know. It's a guess.
We should Twitter stalk him and Facebook stalk him.
We should.
See what he's really doing, Sam. I know he's not listening to us right now. That's for sure.
No, he's out. I heard Sam's a heck of a baseball player. That's what I hear. But
hopefully he'll have some good stories for us when he comes back on Thursday.
He needs to, because he's going to make something up.
Just lie through your teeth, Sam. If you're listening, just lie. Give the viewers what they want. All right, we're going to take a break real quick. When we come back, we will hopefully have more Griffleball news.
Jeremy Ratajczyk should be calling in how they did on the tournament, over this weekend.
NWLA, was that it? NLWA? Some combination of those letters in a tournament. We'll be back on the Sports Jam on WJB AM 1230.
Welcome back to the Sports Jam here on AM 1230 WJOB. Mike Zajac, Joe O'Rourke in studio. A couple interns. We've got Jeremy Ratajczyk on the line with us right now. He is the commissioner of Griffleball. We talked to him on Friday. How'd you guys do in your tournament this weekend?
Hey, Mike. It's good to be back on the air. We went 3-2 this weekend at the National Wiffle League Association tournament. We won our first 3 games in pool play, but then we lost the first 2 games in the double elimination tournament. So we had ups and downs. We thought we could do a lot better, but no regrets. We played as hard as we could, and we did a lot better than last year. So
yeah, how did last year go? I know I've heard that you guys didn't do too well.
Yeah, last year we were 2-4, so we improved. We won an extra game this year, and last year we weren't accustomed to the style of play in that tournament because, like I said on my last interview, the style of play in our league, the Griffleball League, is much different than the national tournament. So it was kind of like a culture shock to us. But this year we knew what to expect coming in, and we felt like we competed a lot better, and we knew what we were doing this time around. It just so happened that we kind of ran out of pitching this weekend. Our arms were dead, and the other offenses caught up to us there in the tournament.
219-845-1100 is the number here if you have a question for Jeremy. Looking at the stats, you batted .464, the home run, 13 hits, 6 strikeouts. So a great weekend for you. I'm looking at John Reyna. Batting average of .250, 13 strikeouts. What happened with him?
Wow.
Well, John, he kind of provided the power for us. His average probably wasn't as good as he wanted it to be, but he definitely provided a lot of power for us. Out of the 4 guys we had, some guys did well with getting on base, And then some of the guys did well with driving him in. So he happened to be one of those guys that was driving him in. He actually had probably the biggest hit for the weekend for us. We were in the first game of pool play. We were down in the bottom of the last inning, which was the actually seventh inning because we had to play an extra inning. And we were down by 1 with the bases loaded, 2 outs, and he had a walk-off grand slam for us. So that was definitely the biggest, or the most dramatic moment for us in the tournament. And that kind of got us off to the races. We used good momentum from that to win our next 2 games. So I think he did really well, actually. The tournament averages were right around 300 for all the players, so he was probably below the average in that. But he did a really good job of driving runs and hitting in the clutch. So I'm proud of what he brought to the table for us.
So how do you figure out who's going to be on this team that you take to the tournament? Is it just like an all-star team of Griffleball players, or is it specifically just your team from the Griffleball League?
Well, ideally, what happens with these teams in the tournament is they try to send, like you said, the all-star team from each league. For us this year, it was the 4 guys we took were the only 4 guys available from the entire Griffleball League. It was we had a heck of a time trying to find 4 guys that had a weekend off in July. So this year for us, it was just 4 guys that were available, but I feel like those 4 guys were pretty good players in our league. Like I said, our hitting was really good. The 4 guys that we took were 4 of the best hitters in our league. But our pitching just kind of wasn't up to speed this year in the tournament. But hopefully next year we can bring these 4 guys back and maybe add a few pitches. We'll do a lot better.
Yeah, I'm looking at your stats. Pitching, you guys got really hurt there. A 9.33 ERA for you. Kyle Litster with a 5.14.
Mr. Perfect game?
Yeah, that's Mr. Perfect, right?
Wow.
Yeah, that's him. Yeah.
You gave up 4 home runs. I mean, yeah, you guys getting tired. Is there only 4 guys on the team total that you can bring there?
You could actually, your roster can actually be 3 to 6 players. If you bring 3, then it kind of makes the play a little bit sloppy because with 4 bases or 3 bases on the field, you'd have to have actually like a ghost runner in case a guy that was on base would come up again in the lineup. So they want you to have 4. You can actually play with 3, but like I said, with the ghost runner, and you could have as many as up to 6 batters in the lineup.
Now, I have to say, this weekend, I was hanging out with my buddy. He came over. We swam for a little bit. And I was telling him all about this Griffleball League and how amazingly in-depth the website is and how so into it you guys are. And he was like, man, let's get a team. He's like, we got to sign up. We got to do this. So I know there's definitely some people out there who are interested that just I've talked to. I honestly have told at least 3 or 4 people this weekend about this league because I think it's so fascinating. Yeah,
I mean, we're always looking to grow. I always thought that wiffle should get more respect and more popularity just because it's such a great pastime. You know, I've always thought that I've always said that a baseball player's first swing is with a wiffle ball bat, and you know it's a pastime that's really wholesome and it's really enjoyable for anyone really. I mean, you could be a great baseball player and a bad wiffle ball player or vice versa. I mean, baseball success doesn't really translate to wiffle ball success, and that's what makes it so enjoyable for me because, you know, literally anyone could come out there and be a great wiffle ball player, you know.
Yeah, back to the game, or the weekend actually. Nate Bryan batted .333 with 2 home runs, 9 hits. Can he not pitch? Because I think in the past when I played, he was pitching a little bit.
Yeah, he pitched his fair amount of innings in the Griffleball League, but we felt like going into this tournament that our best chances to win would be with me and Lidster pitching. We throw a little bit more accurately than Nate and John do in terms of balls and strikes in our league. So you know, the mound distance in the NWA tournament is actually 8 feet further from than our mound is.
Right.
So we figured that with me and Lidster having more success in terms of ball to strike ratio in our league, that our best chance to win would be with us too. So we probably could have given Nate and John a chance with pitching, but it didn't turn out that way. But you know, I still feel like that regardless of who would have pitched, we definitely could have used two more of the elite pitchers from our league.
Did you guys happen to come across any pitchers who threw any wild pitches? Like, I don't mean wild as in the sense of the stat. I mean like crazy, sliders or really dirty curveballs or knuckleballs or whatever else you can throw with a wiffle ball?
Oh yeah, there's plenty of those guys in this tournament. The Ryan Bush from Ontario County Wiffle Association in New York he was a tournament MVP last year. He was one of the pitchers. I think his ERA was like under 1, and he had a whole bunch of strikeouts. He's got a filthy rise ball, and then he's got like a screwball. And then there's a couple other guys like from Wiffle in Southeast Michigan. They have a pitcher named Austin Bischoff on their team. And in the first game of pool play, Bush and Austin Bischoff actually pitched against each other, and the final was 1-0 in 12 innings. With I think OCWA actually came out on top, and those guys just inning after inning just battled, and finally I think Bischoff actually walked in the first run of the game. So yeah, this tournament is filled with really nasty pitchers. I mean, I think that's why we didn't have as much success as we thought we would, just because other than Lidster, we didn't really have anyone to turn to. A shutdown guy we didn't really have in the successful teams. The teams that are more successful in the tournament usually have their ace to go to.
So before we let you go, can you let all the listeners know what website they can go to check out more information and maybe sign up their own team?
Yeah, our league is www.leaguelineup.com/Griffleball, GRIFFLEBALL, and you could find out all the info on there about how you want to join my league. Like I said, we play in Highland, Indiana. Any night of the week, pretty much. We don't have a set schedule just because players have really different availability. But how I do it is that I usually just text all my players on Sunday night, and then we schedule games according on that, on which days they're available. So that's our website, and then the NWLA tournament, which we just participated in, is www.nwlatournament.com. And that was really a great event for the wiffle ball world. And if you're listening in and you have a wiffle ball league of your own, you might want to look into joining that, because it was a really great experience. And the commissioner and the head tournament director for that, his name is Chris Galloway. He really does a heck of a job. He makes it a really professional experience for everyone.
Now let's look ahead to your league, the Griffleball League, and would this be the second half of the season coming up here?
Yeah, actually, we're actually on the home stretch of our season.
Okay, are there any teams that we should look out for who's at the top or at the bottom?
Yeah, well, I don't mean to brag, but right now my team, the Gas House Gorillas, we are 10-0, and we only have a couple weeks to go in the regular season, so we're looking to complete the first undefeated regular season in the Griffleball League. So that's certainly our goal. Yeah. There's a couple other good teams we got to look out for. The Academy is having a really good year this year too as well. So it's gonna be a very interesting postseason, and hopefully we can get Mike Zajac himself out there to broadcast the World Series games.
Yeah, I'll definitely be out there if you need me.
Yep, you and head broadcaster Tyler Walk.
Now, you got any more?
I'm out of questions, and I think we are out of time, actually. So.
Okay.
Hey, so I just gotta say this: John Reyna is the Adam Dunn of your team. The 4 home runs, 13 strikeouts with a low batting average.
Yeah, that's pretty much the Adam Dunn's recipe for success. I think John Reyna's 250 batting average is actually quite better than Adam Dunn's. Adam Dunn's usually in the low 200s or even high 100s. So
you're right about
maybe
that.
John Reyna is actually more successful in terms of batting average than Dunn is. So he brought more to the Griffleball League than Dunn brings to the White Sox, apparently.
Absolutely. All right. Good luck the rest of the way.
All right. Yeah. Thanks a lot, and I look forward to keeping you guys posted on how we do with our season.
All right. Sounds good.
All right, guys.
Bye.
Thanks a lot. All right, real quick, I'm going to run through a couple of these stories before we head to break. Let's do my Onion sports story of the day, like I try to do. The title of this one is Wrigley Field Jumbotron to offer Cubs fans a welcome distraction. In the midst of a heated debate over the installation of Wrigley Field's first ever Jumbotron, officials from the Chicago Cubs stressed Monday that the state-of-the-art screen will provide fans with a much-needed distraction from the team itself. We will always do our utmost to retain the historic feel of the oldest ballpark, America's oldest ballpark, but the Jumbotron will give fans something to watch and actually enjoy during the Cubs games, said team owner Tom Ricketts, adding that the 5,700 square foot screen, which would not obstruct the iconic center field scoreboard, will show commercials, clips of television shows, and broadcasts of other baseball games around the country. Games can last for over 3 hours, so we need to offer spectators something that will keep them entertained and take their minds off whatever is happening on the field. Trust me, these people need this. Reached for comment, Cubs manager Dale Swaim enthusiastically backed plans for the Jumbotron, telling reporters he is looking forward to finally having a good reason to attend home games.
Only the Onion.
The Onion. And for anyone just listening, it's obviously a fake story.
Yeah, well,
but
it could be true. You never know.
It's a fake story, maybe real quotes.
Right, yeah. Yeah, right.
Matt Garza trade update news. We heard last week there was an 80% chance he would be traded before his next start. Well, that didn't happen, and he starts tonight. And Dale Swaim said 100% chance he pitches tonight. We'll see. We got a few more hours till first pitch, so anything can happen.
Anything could happen.
Do you think there was ever a Rangers trade that was going to happen this weekend? Or do you think maybe they were just trying to scare other teams into getting getting worried and saying,
right.
Oh my gosh, now I got to throw an offer at them?
I think this was a scare because I really didn't hear anything big throughout my weekend of watching golf. I didn't hear, hey, Matt Garza's really close to being dealt to the Rangers. So, yeah, I thought that was just a scare for the other clubs. And, hopefully if they do trade him, they get a really good offer.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's kind of like the tactic where they said, oh, we're going to keep Garza and we're going to sign him.
Right.
And they tried that a couple weeks ago. No one bought it. And then this Rangers thing. So I don't know if they're actually going to, or if that actually was ever close to happening, or if it was kind of just conjured up by them to kind of get interest to speed up, especially knowing that Jake Peavy just came back.
Right.
And according to a recent poll of the GMs in baseball, of the GMs polled, they said they prefer to have Peavy over Garza. They think Peavy has more trade value than Matt Garza does right now. They like the extra year of team control for Peavy and the fact that Peavy pitches in the AL and in a huge hitter's park, one of the best hitter's park in baseball. Not that Wrigley's not a good hitter's park, but the fact that he pitches in the AL means a lot more to GMs than the NL because he doesn't have that easy out every ninth bat.
Yeah,
and he's facing a DH instead. So apparently that's what GMs are thinking. If Mike Olt has been offered in Cubs trade talks, I hope the Sox get him as well. Paul Konerko has been reinstated from the team. He could start tonight versus Detroit. And it looks like we got a caller on the line. We're going to blindly take
Hey, you're on the air.
Hey, guys, that's the Texas Rangers. That was legit. The deal was almost done, but one of the prospects couldn't pass the physical, so that's why it was voided out.
I saw that, but do you completely buy that?
Oh yeah, 100%. You can't subject the team to a physical unless there's something in writing.
Right, but I mean, do you think there was actually a physical? I mean, we don't know. We haven't seen the paperwork. We're just going by what writers have, been told.
Well, they wouldn't put out a hoax like that. You can say we're talking to somebody, but you can't actually say that the physical is going to take place. That's why the player didn't pass it. So that was legitimate. And if it went that far, that's definitely legitimate.
Interesting. I didn't know that was a policy. I figured they could pretty much lie about anything unless it's
not when it comes to the other team like that. No. So you gotta. That's a standing that's been ours forever.
All right. Well.
Thanks, guys.
Yep. Thanks for the call. We didn't get his name, did we?
No, we did not.
Well, thanks for the anonymous caller who just called in and let us learn about that. All right, so we're going to take a break, and when we come back for the break, we will talk headlines with not Sam, because he's gone.
Yep.
We're just gonna wing these headlines by ourselves. If you want to call in, 845-1100. We only got about 12 minutes left, so we'll see if we can get you on. WJOB, the Sports Jam.
Welcome back to the Sports Jam here on AM 1230 WJOB. I got some news for my buddy out there, Jim Vrabel. I will be working out at the Vrabel Stable tonight at 6 o'clock when my buddy gets off work. So I know you're up in the UP right now, the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, visiting your son. I hope you're working out as well. Your bench has been pretty bad lately, so Josh and I will carry the load. Shots fired. So what do you got for us, headlines?
All right, headlines. I got Broncos linebacker Von Miller is facing a 4-game ban for violating the NFL's drug policy. Not sure exactly what the drug in question is, but the former number 2 overall pick in the 2011 draft is going to be sorely missed in that Broncos D if he misses 4 games.
Yeah, he's a big part of that defense.
Right before we went on the air, I saw something on Deadspin that possibly it was from marijuana possession charge he had a few years ago.
Right.
In 2011, I guess they're just going after him now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that's all about, but yeah, hopefully Von Miller can avoid that and come back and help that Broncos D. So we got some news on our favorite 41-year-old hockey player. It looks like he's about to join the New Jersey Devils. You know who that hockey player is?
Yes, I do. Do you?
Let's listen.
I'm Jaromir Jagr. My favorite player growing up was Jaromir Jagr.
That was Jaromir Jagr telling us his favorite player growing up, Jaromir Jagr. He'll be joining the Devils will be his 7th NHL team, his 4th team since returning to the NHL from the KHL, the Russian League, in 2011. 41 years old, still going strong. He had 35 points last season in a half a season. He's still producing.
There was a picture I saw on Facebook. It was during the season, and it had guys in their Jaromir Jagr mullets, and each 6 different jerseys on of Jagr. It was kind of funny.
And they have, like, the gray coming in more and more.
No. It was the full Jagr back in the early 90s mullet from when he was with Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
He was down to his shoulders. It was hilarious.
That's pretty cool. All right, so it's time for Cup Date 2013. You like that? Cup Date?
Not bad.
Just thought of that. Jonathan Toews had the Stanley Cup this weekend in his hometown of Winnipeg. He brought it to the Jonathan Toews Community Center. I think that's a pretty fitting place for him to bring it, you think?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
The Johnny Toews Community Center.
Yep.
I think it's super serious in there. I think there's no fun to be had. I think you just walk in the doors and it's just a giant mural of his eyes just staring you down.
No laughing, no talking, seriousness all the way through.
RG3 news. He has been cleared to play by doctors. Griffin tore his ACL and his LCL in his right knee last season. His goal is to play by week 1, obviously.
Yeah.
He's only had 7 months to recover. That is an incredibly fast recovery.
And now the question is he on drugs? Steroid use? I guess he's a young guy. Okay, yeah, they come back quicker, but
I don't know. He's pretty young. I'm going to have to say
it's going to come out.
It's less suspicious than someone like Adrian Peterson coming back that fast.
Yeah, or Bartolo Colon
season.
at 41 years old.
Now, Derrick Rose, did he tear his
He tore his, I believe, ACL and MCL.
Okay, and he did not come back in 7 months.
No.
It's been like 17 months,
but
right?
he was cleared to play after, 12 months or whatever it was.
Right, he was cleared back in April, maybe?
Yeah, but, Bulls fans say he didn't want to come back to face the Heat. So,
yeah,
we'll
maybe he can take a page out of RG3's book and see a 7-month recovery is possible. It's kind of amazing how fast athletes are starting to recover from these things. I mean, back in the day, that would happen. You'd pretty much just hang them up.
Right.
And now you got Dr. James Andrews, who's just working magic on all these players and getting them back in within a year.
Yeah.
With ACL and LCL and MCL and RCL and RCA cables and all that stuff. All those
he's doing a great job with all that.
Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, yeah, you can't go a day without talking about your Cowboys, can you?
I haven't. We'll start Tony Romo. No, I'm kidding.
Let's not.
All right. Cowboys and AT&T are apparently close to a deal that would rename the Cowboys Stadium. I assume it would be renamed AT&T Stadium. That seems logical.
What is it now? New Cowboys Stadium?
No, now it's just called, I think, either Cowboys Stadium or Dallas Cowboys Stadium.
Okay.
It cost $1.2 billion 4 years ago. And
how much is Jerry getting for this?
Well, the rumors say that 4 years ago when the stadium was being built, they were considering naming it AT&T Stadium and agreeing to a deal. And back then, the deal was centered around a $25 million a year fee. So I don't know if that's inflated.
Right.
Or, I mean, now maybe it's $30 million or something. Or I don't know if maybe it's gone down because the team hasn't been great over these 4 years. I don't really know. I'm assuming it's going to go up. Prices tend to go up no matter what.
Right.
So I don't know. I guess we'll find out soon, but it will match the San Francisco Giants stadium, which is named AT&T Park. So now AT&T is going to have AT&T Park, AT&T Stadium. Maybe they're going to,
field.
Maybe they're going to buy the Coyotes. Maybe they're going to make a new stadium for the Coyotes and be the AT&T Arena.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll buy, I don't know, Blimp, AT&T Blimp, and they'll just do all their games.
Sure, they got one going around right now.
They'll just buy it all.
Yeah.
You got any headlines for us?
I do. I have Florida Gators linebacker Antonio Morrison has been arrested for the second time in 5 weeks, this time for barking at a police dog. Morrison will miss the first 2 games of the season. His defense was the dog barked first. Now, come on. He's a dog. Of course he's going to bark at you.
He got arrested for barking at a dog.
Arrested for barking at a dog.
That is...
At a police dog.
That is rough.
Yeah. Not bad. Not bad, Joseph.
I've been holding on to that one for about an hour now.
I'm sure you have.
Waiting for that. Looks like we got a caller. Maybe we can try and squeeze this in the next 2 minutes.
Oh, gosh. I know who this one is.
Oh, we got 2 callers.
WJLP, you're on the air.
Hey, this is Mike's trainer.
How you doing? How you doing, Joe?
I just want to make sure that you don't miss your workout today.
I will not.
Yeah, today's chain day. For all the novices out there, he's gonna be doing bench presses with chains
at the Vrabel stable.
At the Vrabel stable.
At the stable.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm at the OT. I'm at the training center now, taking care of one of my other trainees.
Yeah.
Make sure.
How is Andrew doing?
He's doing good. He's doing good.
Okay.
Got to work out at 5 o'clock, but got to go up to a heavy single today, Mike.
All right, I will.
Thanks a lot for the call.
Hopefully you behave yourself over the weekend.
Well, I will. All right, have a good one. We got Larry the K, I believe.
Yeah, hey, I just happened to be sitting in the bar with that police dog.
Really?
Yeah, you want to talk to him?
No, I'm good.
Okay, hold on.
Is that Hank the K, or is that? This is good radio right now.
All right.
Did you get that?
Yeah,
Yeah, if I could translate, I think he said Antonio Morrison's a jackwagon.
Yeah, that sounded about right. All right, thanks for the call.
He didn't have any milk phones.
All right,
thanks for the call, Larry.
Yeah. See you soon, Larry.
All right.
I think that was Hank the K, the hound dog.
Yeah.
Giving us a shout out here on the Sports Jam. All right, well, that's going to do it for us on the Sports Jam.
Yeah, we got coming up next a new show here on WJLB. It's called Jed Flashbacks that I am going to host today by myself. Joe will be with me
for about 10 minutes.
For a few minutes, but the rest of the week he'll be with me and throughout all the other shows.
Yeah, I think what we're going to do is you're going to host these Jed Flashbacks.
Right.
I'm going to produce them in the room.
Right. We'll give some weather and traffic updates, and it's just a highlight show of Jed's morning show.
Yeah.
So
with a little setup and whatever. Yeah, and you can, if you see any traffic or whatever, you can call in, let Mike know. When Sam gets here next week, hopefully Sam can do the traffic and weather or answer calls or whatever. So it'll be more of an interactive flashback show. So that's going to do it for us on the Sports Jam. We will be back tomorrow at 2 o'clock again. Interns Joe O'Rourke, Mike Zajac, Sam Sapita, apparently at Notre Dame camp. We will see you guys tomorrow.